Okay, I want to tell you about how much I know about women. See, I should have stopped the video right there because that's all. This is what I know about women right here. But this is also what I know. And I know that when a woman's standing like that, it's not good. Adele, a beautiful Adele. She's not happy. Look at that. She is not happy. Fibonacci, need to drop him some paper. Give Fibonacci $100, maybe five. Look at that. Look at that. Seriously, did you see that? Did you see that? We gotta go back. We gotta go back. Look at that. Now she's kind of going. I would say she's kind of, a little bipolar. I would say that, but then, in today's feminazi world, you say that, they're like, you're an abusive person. That's the new thing for women to do these days, is when they don't agree with you, they call you an abuser. Interesting. Okay, going to do a little bit of a Enneagram. Believe it or not, Enneagram, kind of a spiritual. In fact, I got an email, a girl from Rebecca in Oregon. She's like, you're so awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. And what is it about me and Rebecca's? Man, my mom is named Rebecca. So she's like, come to Oregon. She's an Enneagram 8. And anyway, so I'm teaching a lot of Enneagram 8 stuff. So I guess I could celebrate Enneagram 8. And let me show you kind of a spiritual application of it. And this is one of those things that I think one of the reasons why the Enneagram is so rejected, or perhaps even not known, is that it speaks so truthfully to our energies. To our energies. And to kind of lean on Richard Rohr's sentiment, I mean, one of the places that you go with the Enneagram is like, oh shit, I'm the worst person in the human race. Like, I'm the worst. If there's, like, for example, Enneagram 1, like Megyn Kelly. I mean, there is no worse human being on the planet than Megyn Kelly. Or Nancy Grace. I mean, that's classic 1 energy. I mean, wouldn't it be interesting to do a Fibonacci documentary where I'm interviewing Nancy Grace, who's a lawyer, by the way, a former lawyer, and Nancy Grace, and I don't think I could make it. I think I would probably have to come back to Durango, do a little bit more hiking, talk to Jesus, because when you're around 1 energy, you're like, holy shit, there's nothing worse than a 1. And then, paradoxically, my spiritual mentor, Richard Rohr, is a 1. And when 1 energy is good, holy shit, it's good. I mean, I've seen documentaries, and I've seen documentaries of 1s and 5s. Go watch the movie Munich, and see what feminine 5 leadership looks like. Holy shit, Golda Meir. Holy fuck. That's, where are those documentaries? Where is the feminism celebrating that leader? Has Israel had a better prime minister since Golda Meir? I mean, would you not want her to be your prime minister or your president? Holy fuck. And then, I was watching last night about Ray Dalio, classic 5 energy, and use the Enneagram to see, holy shit, these 5s, when they are in presence, when they are in a good space, they are wonderful. When they're in bad spaces, and that's what the Enneagram also speaks to. It speaks to the whole spectrum. It speaks to the spectrum of, I'll show you videos of Mike Tyson in an extremely egoic place. And then I can also show you a Mike Tyson today who's almost moving into his Nelson Mandela era and seeing him become a king. And the tenderness of an 8 is unmatched, believe it or not. Go watch the documentary with Janis Joplin and see the tenderness of an 8 in a way that I've never seen. You want to come to Oregon? I'd love to come speak to your church, your business, about the power of the Enneagram and what it can bring your organization and how it helped my business. It was a defining tool in my business. It was a thing I leaned on all the time, and I sold money to people And so I needed to know how to work with all the different energies. And God brought me the Enneagram. And piece by piece, I started to kind of have my own spiritual growth, where I recognized that when I sold money to a 6, it was a completely different experience than when I sold money to a 5 and 8s. And then I found my own tendencies, and then I kind of built my own company around my 8, 5, 5, 8, 7. And guess who I attracted? And you want to grow your market, you need the Enneagram. We need to bring back old-time consultants who are coming in for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Say, all right, Fibonacci, come in here. Give me your Fibonacci. I'm going to pay you a ton of money. Use this Enneagram thing. I promise you'll leave in a better organization. You know, what's the value of having a healthy organization at work? What's that value? Well, let me go biblical here. And this is, here you go, Matthew 27. You're like, oh shit, you're going to talk about Golgotha. I'm like, yeah, well, let's talk about Jesus a little bit in the context, because I'm a Jesuian. Like I said, the Enneagram is a spiritual tool for me. He talks about this place called Golgotha, which literally means a place of the skull. And then when he was killed, he had this interesting prayer. He prayed for them, and he said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. It's an interesting prayer. Jesus is dying. He was tortured. And his prayer was to what they did not know. What they did not know. And that's where the Enneagram has so much power. And it's just one tool. It says, 8s, do you realize this? No, I had no idea. 1s, do you realize this? I had no idea my hypocrisy was like that. 3s, do you really know you communicate like this? I had no idea, apparently. Seriously? Apparently? Well, sorry that you feel that. I mean, ever talk to a 3 organization? 3s, do you want to have business with 5s? Do you want to work with 5s? There's an inherent corruption between the way 3s and 5s communicate in business. Do you know that? I had no idea that. 5s, do you want to have a sales manager as a 3? 4, how do 4s talk? How do 4s value money? How do 4s value 6s? Good luck. 7s, how do you speak to a 7? How do you calm a 7 down without being condescending? How do you sell to alpha? How do you sell to the boss? How do you sell above? How do you do that? Do you know the language of CEO? Do you know how to communicate to that person? If you don't, you're going to always sell your product or service to a worker. 9s. Do you know the importance of deadlines with 9s and why? And that it's counterintuitive, but if you give more options to a 9, it actually works against you. And having to kind of control with co-control, and then they'll just defer to someone else anyway, while keeping themselves in a 6th place. And do you know how to sell to 6 energy? These are real honest conversations. And again, I'm using Jesus's words, forgive yourself for what you don't know. Forgive your business for what you don't know. But the market is unforgiving. Let me give you a real life example. When I sold money, I ran an online mortgage company, and I sold money or mortgages all over Texas. And one day I got a phone call from Rice University. It was a PhD or an economics professor at Rice University. And I did his loan, and the market changed. And of course, he had a lot of questions, and he needed a lot of information. And how do you talk to that guy? How do you sell a mortgage online to an economics professor from Rice University? And then I remember this. This is why I'm telling you the story. The market moved in a very adversarial way. And I told this guy up front, I said, once we lock this loan, we're going to lock the loan. And we locked the loan and we moved on. And then the market went up. Or excuse me, it went down. So he could have got a better deal somewhere else. The rates had gone down. And then he called me, and he's an economics professor, so he knows where the market is. And he's like, all right, Jonathan, what are we going to do? And we still closed the original loan. What would you have done? What would you have done with him? And I even told him, I said, if giving what you know, given the difference in the delta between his rate with me and his rate with where he could have gone was significant. And I literally said, I understand why you would do that, and I probably would do the same thing. But he still closed with me. And you know why? Because I understood the Enneagram. And the Enneagram gives you something that no other business tool gives you. It gives you the power of integrity to own who you are and also to own who your customer is. And when you live in that honest, trustful place in business, it's wonderful. And that's one thing I'd like to bring to your organization, be it a business or be it a church. Does a church need the Enneagram? The church especially needs the Enneagram. There I go, just rambling, talking about all kinds of things that I get all passionate about. I think it was Jesus said, forgive them for they know not what they do. Man, if I would have known earlier, somebody would have if I would have studied the Enneagram earlier, the impact it would have had on me. If I would have gone into my marriage truly understanding the Enneagram of my spouse, what difference that would make. In churches, if all you want to do is bring me in to speak from a divorce perspective on how important the Enneagram is in premarital counseling, that alone is worth $10,000. How much is a bad marriage? Let's talk to Adele. You guys be good. What's the cost of a bad marriage? You guys be good. Americano417@gmail.com. Holy shit, I want to PayPal him some money. I just need to go to PayPal. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to sing it. Sometimes I need to go to PayPal and put his email in and drop Fibonacci $100 because he needs money and he's making me think, and he sings songs about the Enneagram, and he says, come hire me.